Geraniums will bloom like never before, covering your entire balcony or terrace. This simple fertilizer costs nothing and eliminates the need for expensive commercial fertilizers. This liquid is completely free and rich in the essential nutrients for healthy plant growth. It contains nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, and trace elements that support plant development. It's perfect for watering geraniums, and you'll see amazing results in no time. This wonderful fertilizer is made from crushed onion peels. All you need are 2 handfuls of onion peels. Pour a liter of hot water over them. Let the mixture sit overnight. The next day, the fertilizer is ready to use. For watering geraniums, dilute the onion peel fertilizer with an additional liter of water. Your geraniums will reward you with beautiful flowers. For use as a spray, you can use the onion mixture without diluting it. Pour the fertilizer into a spray bottle. The onion extract acts as a natural pesticide. Its strong smell repels unwanted insects without harming the plants or the environment. It's excellent for protecting against aphids. Regular use guarantees complete protection. Add it to the seedlings. Just 1 tablespoon is enough. It contains potassium, phosphorus, and calcium. In addition to that, you'll find about 30 trace elements in its composition. It strengthens the seedlings, making them less susceptible to diseases. It provides essential nutrients. Additionally, it repels pests. It contains calcium, which ensures proper root growth. Thanks to this, the seedlings can absorb all the necessary nutrients from the soil. Phosphorus positively affects flowering and fruiting. Potassium improves the bushing of tomatoes and cucumbers. It strengthens resistance to diseases. All of this is contained in ordinary wood ash, so don't throw it away anymore. You can prepare an ideal fertilizer for seedlings from it. It is suitable for watering young tomato and cucumber seedlings. With one addition, it has even better properties. Pour 1 tablespoon of wood ash into a liter jar. Pour water over it and mix. It can be rainwater. Add 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Vinegar will increase the acidity of the solution. It will improve the absorption of nutrients from the ash. Leave it for about an hour. You will see it gassing. Bubbles will appear inside the jar. Stir and water the seedlings. Feed smaller seedlings with a syringe and water larger ones. Instead of throwing away, pour water and water tomato seedlings. Even the weakest seedlings will grow strong, healthy, and sturdy. All you need is a fertilizer that you can make at any time. It accelerates the growth of tomato seedlings. It strengthens the roots. Just apply it 2 or 3 times every 10 days, for watering but also as a spray. It contains appropriate amino acids, minerals, vitamins, and bacteria. To make it, take ordinary bread. Various bread leftovers, whether fresh or dried, will be suitable. Prepare any jar with a capacity of about 1 liter. Crumble the bread and put it into the jar. Fill the jar with bread to half its volume. Pour water over it. You can use rainwater. Add 1 teaspoon of sugar. Sugar accelerates fermentation. Cover the jar and set it aside in a warm place for 2 days. After this time, prepare a container with a sieve and strain the bread. Dilute the obtained liquid by pouring 3 liters of water. Add 3 tablespoons of milk. Milk will further improve the fertilizer's properties. Now just water the seedlings. You can feed smaller seedlings using a syringe. Larger ones just need watering. You can also pour the liquid into a sprayer and use it as a spray. You'll see that tomato seedlings will quickly become stronger and won't stretch out. You can also use this fertilizer for other seedlings. For example, for cucumber or pepper seedlings. This natural fertilizer makes my flowers grow like crazy. It contains everything flowers need. I can use it on any plant in the house. My plants have finally stopped getting sick, and their roots have strengthened. The flowers are beautiful and healthy. Thanks to this fertilizer, potted plants have large green leaves. It increases the number of buds and shoots in flowering plants. This homemade mixture contains all the essential elements: potassium, phosphorus, calcium, silicon, zinc, and others. To prepare it, you'll need rice and either a blender or a coffee grinder. Start by making rice flour from the rice. Meanwhile, get a jar ready. Put a teaspoon of rice flour into the jar. Add 1 teaspoon of sugar. Heat 500 milliliters of water. Pour the hot water over the mixture in the jar. Close the jar and let it sit for 3 days. After this time, strain the mixture through a fine sieve. Dilute it. Add 500 milliliters of water for every 100 milliliters of fertilizer. You can save the rest of the jar's contents for later use. Now, water your plants with this mixture and wait for the results. Water the cucumbers with this. They will grow instantly. In the summer, you'll be collecting them by the bucketful. This simple fertilizer will make them grow like crazy. It will supply them with necessary nutrients. You'll quickly see the difference. The cucumbers will green up and start growing. Prepare a 1-liter jar and pour in some warm water, but not hot. Add 1 tablespoon of dried yeast to it. Stir the water. Then add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Stir again, cover the jar, and set it aside in a warm, dark place for 2 hours. After this time, prepare a 5-liter bucket with warm water. Pour the yeast water into it, and mix everything. This way, we'll get a yeast fertilizer concentrate. For daily watering of the cucumbers, it still needs to be diluted. Before you do that, water the cucumbers first with plain water. It's important to moisten the soil around the cucumbers well. Then use the jar and scoop out 1 liter of concentrated fertilizer. Pour it into a 10-liter bucket of warm water. This bucket will be enough to water about 10 cucumber seedlings. That's 1 liter of fertilizer per seedling. This way you can water the cucumbers even daily, if necessary. You'll supply the cucumbers with necessary nutrients and stimulate their growth. They'll fruit like never before. Add a tablespoon to each hole before planting tomatoes. Thanks to this, the tomatoes will be healthy and strong, and the fruits will be large and tasty like never before. Even the weakest tomato seedlings will thrive. Just 1 tablespoon of this powder is enough. This fertilizer poured into the hole for tomatoes will provide them with the necessary nutrients for growth. How to make it? Start by collecting eggshells. When you cook eggs or make scrambled eggs, save the eggshells. Leave the washed and clean ones to dry. Sometimes I crush them into smaller pieces earlier. It's easier to store them that way. They are perfect for tomatoes. Simply grind them into a fine powder. You can do this using a blender, but you can also use a coffee grinder. This powdery substance contains many minerals. Eggshells are primarily a source of calcium. Calcium is needed by tomatoes to fruit healthily. When planting tomatoes in the field, add a tablespoon of ground eggshells to each hole. 1 tablespoon per hole. You'll protect the tomatoes from diseases resulting from a lack of calcium or other minerals. An example is tomato fruit rot. Just a bit of eggshells, and you'll avoid such problems. Water these seedlings. You'll manage to strengthen them before planting them in the field. You'll speed up the development of roots, shoots, and leaves. You'll fortify the young plants. They'll be more resistant to diseases and unfavorable weather conditions. To prepare it, you need a few products that you surely have at home. To start, about 10 grams of onion skins are enough. Transfer them to a jar and pour about 1 liter of hot but not boiling water over them. Close the jar and set it aside, preferably for 1 day in a warm place. The next day, strain the liquid through a sieve lined with gauze. This liquid alone is rich in many nutrients and minerals such as potassium, phosphorus, and magnesium. To this water, add 1 teaspoon of dried yeast and 1 teaspoon of sugar. Mix it and leave it for 2 hours. Yeast is a source of B group vitamins. It also contains magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium. Before watering the seedlings, the fertilizer should be diluted in 4 liters of water. Water the seedlings with the diluted fertilizer. You'll strengthen tomato seedlings even before planting them in the field. You can use this fertilizer once every 10 to 14 days. Even frail seedlings will become strong and healthy.